I'm a fashion designer and I got a 750 on the GMAT, which is 98 percentile. Here's how I did it. Number one, I did not start with a mock test. I knew that I have not done any quant in 7 years and that if I did a mock test, it would go really badly and I would lose confidence. Sometimes you don't start with a mock test. Number two, I started with the GMAT official books. For each topic, I started with the simplest question and then moved on to tougher questions. And that helped me really learn the concepts of every question and how to do each question. Once the concept is clear, then you can start worrying about the timing. But first, the concept needs to be clear. Number three, after I went through all of the GMAT official books, I took my first mock test because that's a more realistic picture of how I'm going to do on the actual exam. After that, I continued to take mock tests every single weekend, and my mock tests were taken very seriously. I did not stop in the middle. I did not allow myself to look at any notes, etc. I took it like it's the real thing. I take a mock test every weekend and then spend the week analyzing which questions I did right and which questions I did wrong, and why I did those right or wrong, what my strengths and weaknesses are in terms of topics, and really working on especially my weaknesses. Number four, I paid a lot of attention to silly mistakes. I'm someone who unfortunately makes a lot of silly mistakes, and I really focused on eliminating those because the GMAT really punishes those severely. If you get the simple questions wrong because you made silly mistakes, you will never even get to the tougher questions because that's the way the GMAT flow works. Number five, even with verbal, I spent a lot of time trying to understand why each option is correct and which one is incorrect. I did not go off of vibes. I wanted to understand grammatically exactly why an option is correct or incorrect. And even when you think that there is no right answer and everything kind of sounds the same and everything sounds right, there is always one answer that is the only grammatically correct answer. And so it's important to understand why that answer is correct and why all of the other answers are incorrect. I only booked my official exam after I started getting the score that I want on mock tests. This is better than just booking in advance and giving yourself a fake deadline because then you may not be able to actually reach your goals in that time. Finally, it's good to keep in mind that your mock test score is probably going to be higher than your final exam score just because of nerves. I tried to get a score that was not just something I'd be happy with, but something I'd be super happy with because my final score was a little bit lower than the score on my mocks, but I was still happy with it. If you're taking the GMAT soon, don't let it stress you out. Just enjoy the process and that way you will do a lot better. Good luck.